Today I want to share a unique experience with you. Over the years working as a psychologist, I have consulted more than 100 women on the topic of relationships with men. And in this video, I want to highlight the key ideas. By understanding and following them, you will find it much easier to build relationships with women. No friend zones, no situations where she suddenly loses interest in you and leaves. You will understand how attraction and love work for women and what makes them want to love and be with some men while seeing others only as friends or simply losing interest in them. Have you noticed that women love melodramas and all sorts of TV series? It's in their blood, in their instinct. They love this sense of uncertainty, that kind of thing. What's going to happen next? How is it all going to play out? And so, when everything is clear in a relationship with a man, if I tell him to do something, he does it. Or I always know that if I do this, he'll respond that way. I always know what to expect. I know he'll always be by my side, that he'll never leave me. And basically, he serves me and does everything to make me feel good. On the one hand, it might feel nice to receive all of this, but her instincts remain unsatisfied. A woman wants a strong man by her side. A man she will be drawn to, for whom she will make an effort, whom she will, above all, want to please. And that includes sexually in every way. But many men start presenting themselves as servants ready to please a woman in everything. Solve a problem? Yes, right now. Sure, I'll do it. Give you money? Of course. Here you go. You have problems. Let me solve them for you. And meanwhile, the woman doesn't make any effort for the man, does nothing, because he doesn't create the conditions for it. And not once during a consultation have I heard, you know, I have this problem. My man tries so hard for me, I want to make him happy, do something nice for him, but I'm not sure what would be best. Maybe you, as a man, could give me some advice. I've never heard anything like that. All I ever hear is, oh my God, I spoke to him so harshly, so emotionally. And now I'm ashamed. I feel like he's turning away from me, that he's lost interest, and he doesn't want me anymore. You understand? In other words, they want you to know your own worth. But don't make the mistake that many men do, who start reproaching the woman, telling her, you don't appreciate me at all, I do so much for you, and you give me nothing, you don't make any effort for me in return. At that moment, you immediately become a little hurt boy. Do you know how the men of those women I counseled reacted? Here's how she described it to me. Damn, I spoke to him harshly, and after that he became constantly busy. And I ask, are you sure he was offended by you because of that? She says, no, I'm not sure. He didn't say anything to me. But after I spoke to him harshly, the way he communicated with me changed. And I ask him directly, are you upset because I was in a bad mood that time? And he tells me, no, I'm just busy. And I'm racking my brain. I can't figure out what's going on in his head. What's happening? Why it's like this? Help me. What should I do with him? How can I get back to the level of communication we had before? This is important to catch. That is, in these stories I've heard many times, the men didn't try to re-educate the woman. They didn't say to her, why don't you appreciate me? It wasn't like that. The woman, either because of her emotions or for some other reason, allowed herself to be cold, disrespectful, or to forget something. And the man, as I understand it, simply, I'll just focus on my own things. And now I'm married. And like any woman, my wife sometimes has emotional ups and downs. And sometimes, for example, I come home tired and say, Ina, her name is Ina, is there anything to eat? She says, no, there's nothing. I didn't cook anything. Well, okay, I'll go and make something for myself. I don't say anything. I just get up and go do it myself. And then, when she says to me, maybe we could do something together, I just calmly reply, no, today I just want to relax. I'll call the guys, we'll chat, maybe do something together. I'm tired. I just cooked. I'm really worn out right now. Let's do it another time. So I'm not blaming her for not making me something to eat. I'm not blaming her. I go and cook for myself, but afterwards I just feel like relaxing. And I want to relax with my friends. I call them, we make plans, and we meet up. If you establish this kind of communication with a woman from the very beginning, she gets used to your personal boundaries and takes them into account. But if she sees that you bend over backwards for her, do everything to suit her, and then scold her when you're not satisfied with her behavior, she says, come on, you're acting like a little child. Can't you do this yourself? Can't you cook for yourself? You shouldn't allow that to happen. It's exactly in the way I'm explaining to you now. That's how you need to act. For whatever reason, the woman has started ignoring your interests. Then you'll just take care of your own interests, and afterwards, maybe go out and meet up with your friends, for example. And you won't say to her, well, you didn't cook for me, so now take that. No, absolutely not. That immediately puts you in the position of a hurt little boy who wasn't fed, and it instantly leads to those kinds of remarks. She starts saying things like, why are you acting like a hurt little boy? I thought you were a man. I thought you were masculine, and so on. Don't make that mistake. Let's summarize the first point I understood from consulting with women. When she behaves without considering your interests, violating your personal boundaries, there's no need for reproaches or lectures. Just withdraw your attention from her, focus on what matters to you, and let it be. She herself will think and understand all these cause and effect relationships, how her behavior led to you acting this way. Because if you reproach her, you're guaranteed to get resistance from her. But if you don't, she'll sit and think, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe it was a mistake. And all those things she experiences while watching these melodramas, with all the twists and turns, he grows cold, then something else happens, then there's distance between them. She will experience all of that with you. And you might say like, damn, why can't we just build a relationship on love? Why? Why do we need all these things? A woman wants to feel that there's a strong man by her side. It's an instinctive need. It's not that she wants to like twist your balls just to see how you'll squirm. No, it's an instinctive need. And when you act in accordance with the response pattern that I just explained to you a moment ago, for a woman in particular, she will gradually begin to feel less and less inclined to test your strength or challenge your resolve as time goes on. Less and less often. And even when, say, once every couple of months she does something, you immediately respond with a reaction like the one I described to you, and she immediately gets back to normal. Act this way, and you'll see how it works. You know what had the biggest impact on me when I was consulting women? What insight? When I realized that a woman wants, above all, to love, and only then does she want to be loved. She doesn't want the man to chase after her. She wants the conditions to be created so that she is drawn to the man, so that she has the desire to impress him, to do something for him. So please, remember this. A woman wants to love. And then she wants to be loved. That's why a man who tries to please her in every possible way, trying to satisfy her needs, giving her flowers and so on, while the woman, as it were, does nothing for him. That's an instant failure, right away, immediately. So what should you do? Let the woman invest in you. And when will she start investing in you? Well, for example, when she starts wondering what's going on in his head. And back then I was cold. And somehow after that, he started to distance himself from me. Remember the effect I just described to you from melodramas? She immediately thinks, oh my God, what's happening? What should I do? And right away, she gets the urge to somehow make up for it and do something for you to win back your favor. And in this situation, you'll be on top. But many men, especially those with the so-called nice guy syndrome, when a woman pulls away or when something goes wrong, they try to please her, win her over, do something to make her happy again. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. If a woman pulls away, take your attention back. Let her be the one to try to win you over. But under no circumstances should you tell her this. You need to make an effort. No, if you do, she'll just tell you to get lost right away. You absolutely shouldn't say it. That's what a lot of men say. You're not making an effort for me. That's where clients I work with, they say, damn, I'll tell her that she does absolutely nothing for me while I've done so much for her. Turns out she's such a jerk. I tell them, under no circumstances should you say that to her. You can't say that because it'll trigger her. She'll start defending herself. She'll start blaming you. All of this needs to be done implicitly. Don't say it out loud. Withdraw your attention. That's one of the most powerful methods. This works well when the woman is clearly the one who messed up. Because there are other situations when there's some mutual dissatisfaction. For example, you might have overlooked something that's important to her, or maybe you promised something but didn't follow through. And the woman, accordingly, started expressing her dissatisfaction about it. And so, if in this situation you distance yourself from her, it won't have the effect I was telling you about. Because in this case, you promised but didn't deliver. And here's another very interesting point about women that I learned from consultations. Women want sex just as much as men do. You see, men like, damn, maybe I'm just too vulgar for wanting sex, and they're also innocent. They just don't show it. They don't show it because it's a taboo topic since childhood. Since childhood, they're taught, don't show it or you'll be called a slut, don't be too easy to get. But if a man, when talking to a woman, starts to flirt, starts to create a sexual context, he awakens something in her, that very essence. Her sexuality, yes, and she starts to open up. But a woman wants you to be the initiator. A woman doesn't want to take responsibility herself and doesn't want to initiate sexual intimacy on her own. Moreover, in relationships, when the relationship has already started and sex disappears, very often it is the women who are concerned about this. It's women who say, somehow we've stopped having sex. I want it, but he's tired or something else. This happens very often. So women do want sex. It's just that because of the way they're raised, they don't show it from the very beginning. They don't show it. So, flirt with a woman. Do it tactfully, beautifully, and you'll see how she gets more and more aroused and more in her interactions with you. Even on the very first dates, she starts to show her sexuality. By the way, if you don't know how to flirt, if you're not sure where or how to start, go to my Telegram channel. The link is in the description and in the first pinned comment. Check out the post there with the flirt tag, and you'll see the key things about how to flirt. Use them in your interactions with women. And you'll see how much easier it becomes to get closer to them sexually. Also, by consulting with women, I completely got rid of those myths that society usually teaches us to believe in. For example, the idea that women only want men with money. That's absolutely not true. Very often, during consultations, it turned out that they just have some minimal standard. The man the woman chose just has an ordinary standard of living, that is, a stable, average salary. He's not reaching for the stars. But it's exactly the way he behaves, the emotions he evokes with his presence and communication, that hooked her, made her feel a strong attraction and love for him. So don't strive for it. Don't think, damn, I don't have money, I'm not meant to be with women. If you know what you're working towards, if you have a stable job and a steady salary, that's already enough. Don't stress about money at all. Another myth that's disappeared is that you absolutely have to go on 3 dates before you kiss a woman or before you have sex. If you flirt with a woman, if you know how to turn her on with flirting and sexual closeness, you might end up kissing her on the very first date. Sometimes people even have sex on the first date, and sometimes it happens on the second or indeed the third date. But a lot of men, what do? They drag it out for weeks, even months. Yeah, it's like they have no idea what to do, so they start courting with flowers, gifts, and declarations of feelings. And in the end, they end up with nothing, because that's not what they should have been doing. What they should have done is flirt and arouse the woman. They should have created a sexual context with her, and then she would have gotten aroused. That's how nature and instincts intended it. In order for sex to happen, it's important to get aroused, to feel attraction. So how can flowers make a woman feel attracted? Just think about it. How? They can't. How can a confession of feelings make a woman feel attracted? It can't. Only flirting, only how you present yourself, what you say about yourself. How do you react when a woman is cold, when she's in a bad mood, when she responds to you, as they say, just to brush you off? You just, okay, took your attention back. You didn't start with, oh, what's wrong? Why are you like this? What happened to you? You just stopped, you took your attention away. She comes back, let's say, some time passes, her mood changes and she thinks, damn, I was rude to him. That's what happened. Somehow he stopped talking to me. Maybe I should text him myself. And she writes to you. But you don't talk to her like a hurt little boy, do you? Like, you didn't text me for so long and you were so rude. No, you act like nothing happened. Yeah, everything's fine. I was just busy with work. How are you doing? And she realizes that you didn't get offended. But at the same time, she feels that the level of closeness you had before is no longer there. And she starts to wonder why this happened. Is it because of the way I acted? Or maybe he has someone else. Maybe he's talking to someone. Maybe he's lost interest in me. And you see all these thoughts. They trigger those very emotions in a woman that she wants to feel. And as a result of these emotions, she starts reaching out to you and she wants you more and more. So, flirt. Don't lose your strong position. Don't slip into a weak position, into the role of a servant who's trying to please, to win her over, to satisfy, to impress. A woman wants a man whom she will be trying to impress. Be that man. Let her impress you. Create all the preconditions for her to be drawn to you. And then, very quickly, she will feel both attraction and infatuation for you, and the desire to be with you. And remember, if you want to be liked by women, here's what you need to develop. First, it's the skill of making an attractive first impression. If you learn how to do this, you'll immediately be seen in a woman's eyes as a valuable man she doesn't want to lose. Second, learn to create an emotional connection with a woman. That is, communicate in a way that's never boring, so she's not just sitting there yawning and thinking about how to end the conversation as quickly as possible. No, you want her to be immersed in emotions, to feel like she's known you for 100 years when she's with you. The third skill is flirting so that she gets aroused and desires you sexually. And the fourth skill is building serious relationships. Look at the divorce statistics. Why? Well, it's because people don't know how to build relationships. They don't know how. They don't know their partner's needs, how to behave during conflicts, what to do if a woman tries to take advantage, how to express their own needs so that a woman fulfills them. We aren't taught any of these things. And as a result, we go out into life, we get married, without knowing, without understanding what awaits us there, and in general, how to build relationships in this marriage. That's why you need to figure this out. It's not that difficult. To start, subscribe to my Telegram channel where I share information on each of these topics. I wish you good luck. See you in new videos. Bye-bye.